It's raining. You know, sometimes rain makes you feel like it's a great day, and then sometimes rain makes you feel like it's a shitty day. I'm not sure which one to call it. Sometimes it rains on you in one spot, then all of a sudden it lets up and it stops raining on you in the next spot. So it could be metaphorically the same thing with life. Sometimes it's shitty on one moment, next time it's a little bit better. I don't know. It just seems like more shitty days than they are good days. So what I can say is that my son, he's back home. So as cloudy as it was before, it's not as cloudy now. And what's the motto? Hardest day was yesterday. Some of you will get that, some of you won't. But it is a real motto. I even give you a little bit of a hint to it. Creature from the Black Lagoon. The deal is that I personally just want better days. Not thinking about a care in the world, are they? Maybe those were the days. Maybe the days that when we were children and we had no worries and no concerns and no troubles really are the days we like to go back to. But the thing is that I can't say that about our kids today. I mean, the shit that they see, the things that we as parents fail to show them or even protect them from. Have you ever wondered if your kids are going to look back when they see other kids playing in the playground or just frolicking through the woods and laughing, if they're going to look back and say what I just said, or are they going to look back and say, I hope they have a better childhood than I had because, God damn it, I don't want them to have to experience what I did. But think about it, seriously. I just don't know. I want my kids to have a better life than my life was. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that in any sense of having TVs and electronics and bicycles and all that stuff, because I didn't have all the things that they have today when I was growing up, or I didn't have those things when I was growing up. That's not what I care about. I know that's what a lot of our children in today's world care about, but I don't want them to think that that's where it all is. When I say I want them to have a better life than I did, I want my kids to not be afraid of kidnapping. As much as it wasn't as big of a thing then as it is now, and when I say that is because it happens so much more now than it was when I was growing up. And when I was growing up, a child being abused wasn't as much as what happens with the children that are being abused today. So let me step back. If I want my children's lives to be better than my life was when I was growing up, it's a pretty shitty start, isn't it? Because there are so many kids right now that are being raped by their own family members. There are kids right now that are dying on the street for being shot by another kid, being shot by another adult. I mean, they're not even involved in the situation itself, and they are actually being, the victim to some senseless shooting? So what the fuck am I supposed to do? Take my kids out of the state? Because guess what, guys? It's not just in your state. As much as some of you want to sit back and act like it doesn't exist, no, it exists. You're just kind of oblivious to it right now because it hadn't happened to you. And that's all it is. You guys don't think about it as much until you hear it on the news. Then you think about it just a little bit more when it happens to your family member or a close friend. But you don't want that shit to happen to you. You don't ever want any of that stuff to happen to you. I mean, you had the shootings in the school in Florida. We had the shootings in the school years back when it was Columbine. Everything's escalated now. More dangerous, more frequently. Less compassion. Less accountability. We want to blame everything. Everything but what the problem truly is. You want to blame the gun for the criminal act that took that child's life. You want to blame video games for the heinous attitude that that person had when they beat up that other kid to a point of putting them in a coma. You want to blame everything else, but you don't want to take responsibility. Responsibility for our duty, our job as our children's parents. And I understand, too, a lot of you are not definitely going to agree with this comment that I'm about to make. But realize now, this is YouTube. I'm Dragon. I'm not you. You're not me. Our experiences are totally different. So we have different opinions. But what I'm saying is this. It is not the weapon. It is not the weapon. I got to say it one more time so that I can be understood. Because I know you can hear me because you're listening. It is not the weapon that's doing the damage. It's the actual person behind that tool that uses it in that fashion to cause the damage. So, society is broken to a point. It's not the politicians who are either saying that they are gun advocates or not. It's not the politicians who are getting paid or getting some type of donation given to them by the NRA. Doesn't matter. They have no control over the person that actually wields the weapon, whether it's a knife, baseball bat, screwdriver, or a gun, whether it be a handgun, long barrel, or an assault rifle. And you guys need to get your definitions correct on actually saying what is and what is not an assault rifle. I'm not even going to go into that one, but if you want to educate yourselves on that part before you start calling all types of rifles assault rifles, the assault weapons, get a little education on that part too. Stop jumping on bandwagons and using the same words that they use when you're not sure exactly what you're talking about in the first place. But anyway, all I'm saying is this. If you really want to stop some of this stuff that's going on, you got to hold the people accountable and stop actually clouding up the BS with more BS. For instance, the man in Atlanta just got sentenced. And it was all about a weapon that he used to shoot up a house. And his intentional target was not who was actually shot. His intentional target was probably not even in the home at the time that it happened. But the person who died was a little girl. And when I say little girl, I mean 4 years old. 4 or 5 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't hear anybody ranting and raving about the goddamn gun at that time, the type of weapon that he used at that time, that this particular weapon needs to be banned because this weapon was used to take a 4 or 5 year old girl's life. I didn't hear nobody bitching about that. Second thing, 2 brothers from a different mother, probably same mother, different father. Regardless of what it was, we as the people failed because we're the ones that create the system. And don't start with that bullshit neither about the system, but we're the ones who can vote in or out. So leave it at that. Deal is that these two bastards, ripping and running the streets, have been causing chaos and mayhem, and that should be their fucking real first name, for the last 8 years. From robbery, what was it? Aggravated assault, felony assault, armed robbery, aggravated assault, and then murder. Both of them. They're just now being fucking sentenced to go to prison. What failed? The system failed. I don't want to hear no bullshit that the system is set up to rehabilitate people and get them on the right path. No, the fuck it ain't. The system, in all honesty, is just set up to go ahead and put a fucking Band-Aid on a sucking chest wound, and that's about it. Fix the system, which are the people. I'm ranting about all this stuff because it comes back to exactly where it started from. Us, the adults, the people who brought these people into the world and raised them up to be who they are. Whether you're absentee or not, I don't give a shit. If you felt that it was going to be bad and you weren't going to be able to be around for your kid, for whatever the reasons were, do whatever you can to fight, to be there, to give some positivity in that kid's life so that they can have something to look up to. But the worst part is that you want to sit here and make a fucking excuse about your old lady won't let you see the kids. You know what, man? Okay, get a second job. Raise the money. Whatever you got to do, go fund me. I don't give a shit. Get an attorney. Take that woman to court. If you can do better for your children, do better. Don't run away and leave it to like it is, because I can guarantee you, while you leave it like it is and you're not doing anything to help that kid, they're not getting any positive damn views about you from the mother. They're not getting any influence from the mother that's positive about you, and they're not getting any influence that's positive about how to raise their child when they get to the point of being parents, because you're not a good role model. Basically, I'm bitching about the simple fact that after having to make the decision to take my son to a location where I definitely didn't feel comfortable leaving him, but under the circumstances too, I had no other choice because my son needed help, and the help that he needed I couldn't give to him. I didn't have the tools, so I reached out, and when I got an opportunity to go there to see him, I felt like shit because I saw all of those teenagers from 13 up to 17 going through all of their own situations. And I mean, no, he's probably not supposed to express a lot of the stuff that they talked about in group, but he did, and I don't want to delve into some of the comments and some of the situations that he did see and hear. So I'll do it like this. I'll say this. My son is 16 years old, found out about the world the hard way. He found out about it through other kids' eyes his age. He found out what loneliness really is and what it really can mean. He found out a lot of stuff that just, quite frankly, didn't settle well with him. On top of him having to deal with his own battles that he had to fight. But more than anything, I would rather have been telling my son about this or my kids about these issues in our world than him actually going through them and having to experience them himself, or these other kids experiencing these things themselves. Hey, so what are we going to do better? What are we going to do to change all this? Sit here and blame it on guns? Sit here and blame it on video games? We're going to continue to blame it on YouTube? I mean, because at the same time, let's be real. You guys that are the adults It's your choice whether or not you're going to buy these games for your children. It's your choice whether or not you allow your kid to sit in front of the TV and stream YouTube or watch certain shows that they probably shouldn't watch. It's your choice. You choose to be the parent, or you choose to let these things babysit your kids. So don't sit here and blame everything else when you're the fucking problem yourself. And I'm going to sit here and say it exactly like that, because I have not been a part of the solution when it came to this. Allow my kids to actually be babysat by the damn TV. I've allowed things to happen that I shouldn't allow to happen. The first part of fixing it is for me to admit it and then come up with a plan to execute on doing something better. But some of you guys are still out there complaining and saying that things are so bad and your kid is doing this and your kid is doing that, and you're blaming everything on your kid. But a lot of the access that your child has to this stuff, you gave it to them. Whether or not you handed it right over to them and just put it in their hands, or whether you turn right around and you just said, whatever, fuck the day, let them do what they want to do. Oh, he's 14 years old. He's old enough to do this. Are you shitting me? But we all make these decisions. We all make these choices. And without guidance, these decisions and choices can be life-threatening. And that's the part where you're supposed to jump in as the parent to help them see the life-threatening portion of this so that it doesn't happen again. If you're not going to do this, guys, if you're not going to do this, then I think you should give up your parent card. In all honesty, just let it go. You ain't got to be a parent no more. Again, I'm only speaking on my behalf, on my opinion. And really, I'm not speaking. I'm just bitching. Bitching because it started as a shitty day. I got a lot to do, a lot of work to do when it comes to being a better father. A lot of work to do when it comes to being a better husband. At least I can say one of my kids is leaving, and they're not leaving because they can't stand it. I haven't helped them or supported them, but they're leaving because they want a future. And I'm supporting them on that future. Our oldest daughter is leaving in a couple of weeks to go in the military. A lot of people are saying, hey, Dragon, you should feel proud. You should be happy. She's leaving. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'll tell you the truth. There's a lot of things about this, her leaving, that has me twisted in a lot of different ways. Yeah, I'm proud that she decided to go to the military to further her career and her life in an aspect that a lot of people don't choose. She's not going because she can't do anything here. She's going because she needs another ladder that she wants to climb herself to be successful at. No, I'm not disappointed that she's the first female out of 3 generations. No, sorry, out of 3 lineages. My side of the family, my father's side of the family, and her mother's side of the family. She's the first female to ever do military, to ever don the uniform. I'm not upset that she chose a different branch than the Navy. That's fine. Not a big deal. Truth is, man, it's my baby girl. As a father, you have to let your girl go in a different way you have to let your boy go. It's hard. It's real hard. A lot of mistakes can still be made in the military that can be made right out here on the street. You guys have to understand, everybody in the military is not made for the military. Some people come in and they learn something about themselves, whether they change or they add to. And that could always be a positive or a negative. So I'm proud that she's picking up on something that she feels is going to be a best for her. but I'd be lying to myself, and I'd be lying to her, and I'd be lying to everybody else if I didn't say that I'm still nervous. The path I chose in the military is not a path I want my kids to choose. That was my path. Those are the things that I did and I committed to, and those are the things that I am having to deal with. I can't sit here and say my daughter would not do anything that will test her moral compass, because it will happen. She will have to find out what direction she will truly go under all circumstances. My concern is that if it does come to that day, will I be strong enough to support my daughter to get her through it? And God willing, will He give me an extra time to be here to make sure that I see her through it? So, it's not the shittiest day, man, but it could be a real fucking shitty day if you let it. We're going to go ahead and end it. I'm done. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time. It's your boy Dragon Chi. We'll see you later. Out. Peace.
Like you're getting your first ribbon.